It's time to talk about the Saboteur, a game that often flies under the radar but deserves a closer look. Now, the Saboteur isn't just your run-of-the-mill open-world game set during World War II. It's got style, it's got flair, and it's got a whole lot of explosions. The game drops you into Nazi-occupied Paris, and straight away you'll notice the black and white color scheme. But this isn't just a stylistic choice for the sake of it. No, it actually plays into the game's mechanics. As you liberate areas of the city, color returns to the environment, which is both visually striking and incredibly satisfying. The Saboteur does an excellent job of making Nazi-occupied Paris feel oppressive. You've got blimps patrolling the skies, propaganda posters plastered everywhere, and Nazi soldiers on every corner. It really sets the tone and makes your acts of rebellion all the more satisfying. One thing that really stands out in this game is the narrative. It's not just a simple tale of good versus evil, it's got layers. Sean Devlin's character is fleshed out with a backstory that makes you root for him. The cutscenes are well directed, and the dialogue often has that sharp, witty edge that keeps you engaged.
What's in the package? Whiskey, sausages, porno magazine. Christ, that's one hell of a gift basket. Where can I get one?
You play as Sean Devlin, an Irish race car driver turned resistance fighter. This guy is as tough as nails and has a personal vendetta against the Nazis, giving the game a more personal touch than your typical beat the bad guy story. The voice acting for Sean is spot on, bringing a rugged charm to the character.
Dear wanker, sorry about the bang up. Send the bill to me arse.
But it's not just Sean who's interesting here. The supporting cast also adds a lot of depth to the story. You've got characters like Skylar, a British spy who's not only a love interest but a badass in her own right.
Are you chatting me up?
The interactions between characters are one of the game's highlights, adding a human element to the war-torn backdrop of Paris.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
The gameplay here is a mix of stealth, action, and exploration, and it's up to you how you want to tackle missions. Sure, you've got your standard fare of sabotage missions, but there's also racing, assassination, and even some platforming elements. The stealth mechanics are surprisingly solid, allowing you to don disguises and sneak into enemy compounds. But if subtlety isn't your thing, you can always go in guns blazing. The shooting mechanics are decent enough, though they won't be winning any awards.
Pull your head out of your arse, man. I've got no idea what you're talking about.
The game keeps things fresh by constantly throwing new types of objectives at you. And let's not forget about the perks system. Completing certain actions and missions unlocks perks that enhance your abilities. It's a nice touch that adds an RPG-like element to the game, giving you a sense of progression.
Well, just getting started, my friend.
Now let's talk about the setting. The representation of Paris is pretty damn impressive. Scaling the Eiffel Tower and looking out over the city is one of those gaming moments you won't soon forget. The streets feel alive, with NPCs reacting dynamically to the ongoing conflict. The game isn't without its flaws though. The driving mechanics can be a bit clunky, and some of the side missions can feel repetitive. The AI can be a hit or miss at times. Sometimes the Nazis are sharp as a tack, other times they're dumber than a box of rocks. And as mentioned earlier, the driving could have been tighter, and the occasional bug can take you out of the experience. But, considering the scale of the game and the time it was released, these are minor gripes. In terms of graphics, the Saboteur holds up pretty well, especially with its unique art style. The switch from the black and white to color as you liberate areas is not just a neat visual trick, it also has a symbolic meaning, representing the return of hope to the city. The sound design deserves a shout out too. The explosions, the rattle of gunfire, and the ambient sounds of the city all create an immersive experience.
Watercolors and oils of all sizes.
The game's soundtrack is another high point. It's a mix of period appropriate music and more dramatic scores during action sequences. The sound of the game really adds to the immersion, whether you're sneaking through a Nazi base or engaging in a high-speed chase through the streets of Paris.
Short!
They come!
In conclusion, the Saboteur is a game that deserves more attention. It's an ambitious title that manages to blend an open-world design with a compelling narrative and unique visual style. It's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot of fun, and a game I definitely recommend checking out. That's it. Ciao ciao.
One day you'll have to tell me how you came by these scars.
We've done enough talking for one night.